Hi, I'm Renelle Golden, and you're listening to the Movie Making Podcast. This episode is brought to you by Atlas VPN. Hello, everybody. Today we are here with Bayou Bennett and Daniel Lear. They are the Dream Team directors coming out of Hollywood, and their work is just something full of heart and meaning. Welcome. How are you two guys doing?
Good. Thank you.
Great, Renelle. We're so happy to be here with you. Thank you very much.
I'm very happy to have you here and just talk about everything. I'll probably take you way back if you both are up for it. I want to know, obviously at some point in time you guys got together, but I'd like to know, and we can start with either one of you, how you each got your start in this industry, because it's not for the faint of heart.
True.
Very true. Very true. With me, I got a job at the LA Opera, and my job was to bring people to their seats. And I think that might have been my first kind of like entrance into this visual world of performance. Entertainment. Yeah.
Well, how old were you?
I was probably 18.
Oh, you were young. Okay.
I was 18. And my mother was always listening to the opera. And I think at some point I just was, blown away. I went to a performance of Othello with her.
Oh, okay.
Othello. And they put like a whole castle on the stage.
Yeah.
In great detail. And then there was you felt like it was a port city there, and you could almost feel like this giant ship and the wind and the water and the salt. And I was like, my God,
wow.
I actually wanted to be a set designer.
That
was where I started. Yeah. That was where I started. And so I went to school for set design, and I realized it was too much like architecture and engineering. And I was like, I can't do this
stuff, right?
Yeah. I was like, this is not for me at all. And so I started working in the theater after that with a set designer, and everyone's like, don't do this. You're not going to make any money. It's going to be a most suffering life ever. So I'm like, oh my God. And then, yeah, it's going to be hard. And I watched this film one night by Gus Van Sant called My Own Private Idaho. And it had a very strong production design or set design aspect to it. And I fell in love with that film. But then that sort of like made me, like, as I made my first films in Super 8 film, it made me more interested. Actually, I started with the set design, but I'm like, wait a minute, there's a screenplay. Wait a minute, there's acting. Wait a minute, there's story. And I sort of realized there's a whole other world to filmmaking than just the production.
That's really important. Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Okay, Bayou, how'd you get your start?
Yeah, well, it's funny. So I got my master's of fine art, and I did grow up in like a very artistic family. All my my parents were musicians, and so during my master's, I discovered Maya Deren, and she is a performance artist, and she also did films. Like she performed in them. She also directed them, co-directed them always at some point
with her husband, right?
Her husband, yeah.
And then that.
Interesting, right?
Yeah, that's so cool. Yeah.
But yeah, so like that's right. So I actually I grew up in Arkansas, a tiny little town, and it was all art there as well. But once I went to New York for a field trip with my class, and I was like, oh my God, I have to be here. This is where the creativity is. So I ended up selling my art. The final show, I sold all my art, sold my car, took a train to New York, and I was like, that's it. I'm gonna, I want to be in New York, which is a little different. So I did become like a performance artist, but I'd also concurrently had been doing a documentary on my father, who's a musician from Louisiana. And
that's so cool.
Yeah, it was super cool. So he's like, very well known there in New Orleans, and he played at the Jazz Fest. And so I was making a documentary about him. It was called Me, My Father, and the Hurricane, because it was during the hurricane. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And so that's how I started.
I would say it's
a hurricane that destroyed the city.
Yes, Hurricane Katrina. It destroyed the city. And then my dad had just lost his dad and then had a divorce. So it was like it was kind of like a
parallel.
Yes.
Wow. Wow, that is an amazing, amazing story. I love it. You two, it's so cool to find like a team. And I don't know if you guys know this or not, but my writing partner for most of my projects, it's not my husband, it is my son, my 27-year-old son.
Wow.
We started doing that in 2019, right before the pandemic. We had started our company in December, and then we were filming our first like feature, doing our proof of concept and all that. And that was in February, and in March we got shut down. Because we lost our investor and the pandemic had started, and so that's how we started out. But you bounce back and all that. But I love it when family like becomes a powerhouse. They team up together. So that's the coolest thing. And I can't wait to hear how you two met, which is going to be my next question. Fast forward, you each are doing your own thing. When and where, how did you come together?
Well, that's a really good question. It was in New York City. It was 2007, and I was at this vegetarian Israeli supermarket on Ludlow called Earth Matters, which isn't there anymore. But I was sitting there eating my veggie dog like I was every afternoon pretty much. And, watching all the different, hipsters around me and the cool community around. And then Bayou was coming out of her yoga class with her yoga mat. And there was one seat available, and she asked if she could sit next to me, and we just hit it off. Like we had so much to talk about.
Wow. Oh, that is so cool. Are you both vegetarians?
We're not vegetarian, but we like to eat that way.
Okay. Because I'm like, I'm a vegetarian. Oh, okay. Well,
cool.
I'll still love you. It's. I thought, what a cute story. That is still a cute story. So you guys hit it off. Did you like go on your first date that day?
No,
she actually left me right away for the whole summer.
I was like, I'm a woman in action. So I'm like, at that point I was very driven. I had a lot going on. So the next day I literally was going I went to Egypt to dance with my my dance troupe. Like we went to Egypt.
Wow.
Then I flew from Egypt to Jordan, Amman, because I was a professor. I was the first woman to teach and the media department at Parsons School in New York. And then so I flew to Jordan, Amman to teach filmmaking over there, which was a whole nother story. I mean, they were used to women covered and all that, but I won their hearts, and they didn't want me.
There you went or something.
Yeah.
Wow.
Literally, I left and I was off on my journeys, and he kept in touch with me. And then there was like a 6-month courtship, like a proper courtship.
Oh, I love that.
I started off as her editor, Renelle. I started off as her editor.
You did that on purpose, right?
An assistant of some kind that eventually transitioned into a boyfriend.
I love it. What was the first film you two made together, and how did you decide let's do this? You
know what? We made 2 projects almost simultaneously. We were doing a TV pilot about traveling to another country through visiting one city block in New York. So it was about these amazing ethnic cultures in New York. Mm-hmm. And we were doing an episode about Little India in Queens. It's called 74th Street. Sorry?
Wow, that's really cool. I didn't know there was a Little India there either. That's why I said wow.
It's super visual and amazing. And we went into a casting session. We were casting together, and we actually cast Lea Michele, who was in Glee and Scream Queens for our pilot. Okay. And then we actually also, interviewed one of my favorite actresses from the movie The Squid and the Whale. And so it was like we were able to see incredible talent, because as soon as we started together, I feel like things just started going well, really well. And then we also, I think it was Halle Pfeiffer, who we saw. She was great too.
Michelle? And then Halle Pfeiffer.
Actually, I'm going to think. I have to look it up really quick on IMDb. But she was awesome. And then, but Lea Michele was really, really perfect, I think, for what we were trying to do in that pilot. So that we won an award at the New York Television Film Festival, New York Television Festival, in front of like hundreds of people.
Wow.
Which was wonderful. And then, but actually one snowy day, stranded in Chicago, we decided to write our first film together, which was based on Bayou's students. Bayou, you want to tell about your students?
Yeah. So my students were like sitting next to each other and texting each other. And I was like, oh, this is interesting. And then I would see like their face. It's when Facebook was just coming out. I would see their Facebook profile and they would be completely something that they weren't. And then, so we decided to make a short film about a date where two people meet. It's kind of like they meet on Facebook, they meet in person, they're completely different. And then they connect at the end because they have a lot more in common after they get past those differences. And it's really, really fun and cute. They're texting other people. And I have to say, I have to brag a little bit because I think we were the first ones to put texting on a screen because we ended up using Matt Bennett from Nickelodeon Victorious. He actually, we cast him first, then he got on Nickelodeon Victorious. But as he showed our film to the producer on Nickelodeon Victorious, they saw that we did texting and on our phones and showed on the screen, and they borrowed it. And then from there,
ripped us off.
From there forward, you see it.
Now everybody does it in every movie. You started. Oh my God, that's cool though. That's a great story. Oh my gosh.
But yeah, that one, so Renelle, like really, it got us we ended up getting in 15 film festivals. We played in Times Square for 3 days. We ended up winning one of the festivals that got our management. And then that's the moment when I said, look, we have something, like we need to move to Hollywood. And that summer that winter we were walking, there was 6 feet of snow, and we're like, okay, we made a decision just to move to Hollywood.
Hollywood's good.
Yeah, that's right. No connections. And we came here and
no connections.
None, zero.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Except we won that film festival, and that was our management. It ended up being our management.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So you get there, no connections, got to establish yourself. What was your process?
That's a really good question. Well, I think that we just did what we learned early on. And I think what you do really well, like with branding and marketing and promotion, you have to combine filmmaking talent in the film industry with marketing and business. And so we just started promoting a lot, and we started going to events and meeting people, and we slowly built our, connections. And we had worked really hard on our director reel in New York, and we just started sending it around, and
it opened doors.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, if there's anything I believe in, it's like if you just write a lot of emails to people and text people and let them know you're there and go meet people, things will happen.
It's kind of a numbers game, right? That's kind of what I'm learning now as I get braver and start doing that. It's a numbers game. So you might have to send 100, but if you get 3 or 4 or 5 responses, that's probably all you need,
It is. It's like, I just say, like, what I realized, and it's like something, you realize at different points, but the industry won't come to you. Even if you have something really great, you have to promote it really, really well and intelligently. But then, like, there's those people who can just sit on the phone or sit on their computers and just write to people. And eventually, like, they get someone interested. So, like, you have to be like willing to be in control and to create your opportunities in this industry. They don't just happen.
You need a little bit of what's the word? Fearlessness too, right? Like to know, hey, it's okay to reach out, because with every email, I know for younger filmmakers, and I started my career 43 or somewhere in there after I had to close my performing arts school because I went blind. So I ended up, of all things, becoming a filmmaker. But there's a little bit of fear of the rejection, or you're going to tick someone off if you have an email in their inbox and they didn't ask for it, or, some of that. And what I'm finding as, I move on in my career is you got to forget that. You have to be fearless. You have to just sort of, okay, I'm going to do this. And I'm meeting amazing people. And
Brilliant.
People that even turn you down, though, they're nice to you. They're not necessarily mean or evil or, hey, leave me alone, or they say nothing at all, but you get on their radar. They know your name now. They know you're doing something. So
it's so true what you're saying. It's just so true. Like I think a really turning point moment for us was the mentor that we have, which is still to this day, we adore him. His name is Doug Claiborne. And he basically volunteered to work for free on Apocalypse Now with Coppola as a production assistant to see if he would like the film industry. And then he ended up, being an AD for Coppola, and also then a producer, an executive producer. And he said, if you don't ask, you don't get.
Yes. And I'm learning that lesson now. Just, I wish I was 20 when I started this industry, because I love it. And I love telling stories. And his advice, is so true. And even like a big challenge is to get out of your comfort zone, to get out of your own way, because a lot of us aren't willing to do what makes us uncomfortable, and talking to strangers might make you uncomfortable.
Use your internet without limitations. Atlas VPN offers military-grade encryption and data leak protection, keeping you and your family safe online, no matter where you are. Available on iOS, Android, Windows, and other devices. For less than $2 a month, Atlas VPN stands above the rest. Get an extra 6 months of Atlas VPN for free when you select a 2-year plan. Use the Movie Making Podcasts affiliate link to sign up. Go to get.atlasvpn.com/moviemakingpod. That's get.atlasvpn.com/moviemakingpod.
I know one of the biggest challenges that, is for all of us, and, I'm going through it right now with my projects, it's finding investors and financing, or getting that executive producer. And you guys being in LA, have you found a way that you're able to move fluidly from one project to another and fill those gaps?
Well, I think that we've done 4 films back to back where there was, some private investor in all of those. Good. And so I think for us, it's like some way that we've attracted people towards us, or built relationships where the people trusted us enough by our past accomplishments to give us money.
I'm going to say you're just so amazingly talented, and your energy it's unusual, and it's good, positive, warm energy, which is fantastic.
Oh, thank you so much. I highly appreciate that. I got to tell you, we've also been on the other flip side where we've had certain feature-length projects where we worked on them for years, and then we couldn't get the money to do them. So what we did is I think the thing about Bayou and I is we never let ourselves get stopped or discouraged, and we're like, okay, we can't make this. What can we make?
That's what research they told me that years ago. They're like, if whatever you're working on isn't working, you need to move on to what does work. So you don't get stuck in that rut. It doesn't mean you come back.
It's one of the worst things to feel stuck and stopped and that you can't do something. So the important thing is to always be doing something. That's what I love about Spike Jonze. What I like about Spike Jonze is he'll just pick up like a consumer video camera and make something incredible out of that. Or he'll pick up anything. He'll pick up anything, whether it's a music video or a short film or, whatever he's doing, it's always, he finds a way to bring his vision to it in whatever format as well.
Wow. That is good. There's just so much room for people to like learn and grow and just really be creating, and, at all budget levels, all skill levels. And I love it. I love it all. So what are you guys kind of like working on right now?
Well, let's see. We got a wonderful opportunity to direct one of our icons, Michelle Pfeiffer, for a series, about like this really, incredible fragrance that she created. So that was kind of a dream project, to be able to work with someone at that level and really experience true talent.
Oh, wow. Okay.
That was really special. We like that. And we are entering the film festival circuit with a new film that we have called Connection, which is about how we're all connected across the globe, and that the actions that one individual takes with regards to their environmental decisions, am I going to use a single-use plastic bottle, or am I going to, carpool or ride share, or, am I going to use, not just buy like fast fashion, but like use more organic, sustainable, cloth, and maybe buy secondhand, how that affects other continents. So it's we have
no idea, do we? We really don't.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a very powerful story. And we got a chance to actually film it across 5 different countries.
Oh my God.
So, yeah, we filmed it in India, Ghana, Africa, Pakistan, Hong Kong, and the US. And it was like a dream, because Tombstone Pillow is a film that we did where Bayou was not on set in the Philippines. She actually found a way to co-direct from Los Angeles.
Oh my God. Wow. But she was with you on this one?
Yeah. This one we shot in the US for several days. But we worked with creators in different countries through Zoom and WhatsApp. And, we were able to work with creators in different countries. And
because we learned from Tombstone Pillow, because Tombstone Pillow, we had a 3-year-old and I couldn't travel for that long.
Right. I wouldn't have either.
Yeah. He's all in a cemetery in a very, kind of like very, very intense poverty.
But we found everybody in the Philippines, they somehow they have Facebook.
They love Facebook.
So we did all of our producing. Like we had the producers on different messagings. We had the producers on different messaging. We had the
production
designers. Everyone. It was all organized, and then we took a camera, and then I was there. Actually, a phone, and the phone was
connected to the ARRI camera, and they shoot 6,000 miles. Yeah, 6,000 miles apart on opposite hours. But I think
directing in real time, even though you weren't there. It sounds
exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
But, yeah. So I think that made us, Renelle, that got us interested in doing a different type of filmmaking, which is sort of like what I call modern era filmmaking, where you're directing over communication devices that allow you to be in different places and work with people in a very untraditional directing way, but I think is really, really cool.
It sounds really cool. So what was the actual process? Because I have a lot of my relatives live in India, and my kid's father's Indian, and so what was the actual process like then, working with a creative team overseas, but you guys weren't necessarily there?
Yeah, I'll tell you how we did it.
Teams?
Well, funny, because we really wanted to do a scene of women planting trees in this very beautiful rural location in Pakistan, or in the East. And someone reached out to me on Instagram, and they wanted Bayou and I to mentor them in filmmaking. And I'm like, okay, well, let me see your work. Oh. And he showed us this music video he had done. His name's Afnan. He's kind of like a brother to me now.
Oh, that's so cool.
And I was like, this music video is unbelievably visual. And it showed this area of Pakistan called the Hanza Valley, which is breathtaking.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, do you want to be part of this film we're doing, and we'll mentor you? And so Bayou made this really elaborate storyboard and shot list, and sent Afnan references. And then he would send us, he sent us pictures of 6 different locations, and we're like, that one.
And actually it was not even, the camera was not even in the direction of what we wanted, but I said, look at those mountains, and they had cherry blossoms. I was like, so we had to shoot.
Oh, wow.
We went as we went along, we had to learn that if we didn't shoot that day, in the next few days, the cherry blossoms are not going to be blossoms.
That's
so
true.
They'd be gone. So we had to be very almost like detectives. And so we said, turn the camera this way. And then the Indian shoot was when we actually had a friend who knew a producer, and then we reached out to the producer, and then she introduced us to the cinematographer, and then
networking. You just kind of asked and received, sort of, right?
Networking across the globe.
But that team was amazing, Renelle. They went to they literally flew to another state, kind of like a state for us, but country for the part of the country for them, because they weren't allowed to shoot in the sweatshops to where they were, because that was a scene where we shot a sweatshop. It's a very interesting scene where our actor looks through fast fashion, and then she opens up the rack and sees a sweatshop and who's creating her
behind the fast fashion rack.
So were you showing in your new one, Connection, were you showing the negatives and the positives that are going on in the world?
Positive. Well, both. I think that the movie's about a transformation a woman makes from being completely all about herself, self-interested CEO who just is all about profit and about materialism, and then she makes this evolution to discovering this Mother Earth aspect inside of her.
Oh, wow. Oh, it's so much more than I thought. I thought it might be like a documentary style thing. It's it has story based.
Yes. Funny enough, it does have some documentary aspects. We really did shoot in a real sweatshop. Wow. And we really did, shoot in an environment with very intense plastic pollution in Ghana, and, a place with great poverty. So we take from real life, but we fictionalize in a really stylized, interesting way.
We learn from the culture. For example, we had the influencer. I think she's an influencer, but the star, she drops a Coke bottle, and off of her balcony in LA, and then it lands in Africa, and a little girl picks it up. But the dress that we made for her is traditional African, and so we had a seamstress, literally
local Ghana designer
design it, and then we were like, we like this fabric. She was like, but that wouldn't be for her. It would be. This is what it is for the culture, and so we made sure we stayed within the culture and what's real and true to the culture.
Wow, wow. Did this movie it's so much more than the other ones, like each time you make a new one, but the impact of this film and the stories and the things you guys learned, did it affect you emotionally? Was some of the things you might have learned a little bit shocking?
Yes, I think for sure we learned, like, for example, in the Hunza Valley, I feel like we got very connected to that, the beauty of that environment. It's at the base of the Himalayas. But then we learned that the glaciers are melting there and they're causing a lot of threat to the villages because glaciers melt, they release a lot of water. So there was that. But then also in Ghana, Africa, we learned that the plastic pollution that was there, say 2 years ago and was a catastrophe.
They cleaned it?
There's so much pressure being put on the government that they cleaned it all up.
And so then, there's good and bad going on. Like there's
more good, to be honest.
Yeah, more good.
Really? Well, I love hearing that. That is good. Yeah.
Because the other thing is with the sweatshops, we were going to talk about child labor, but there is no more child labor in India, from what we found.
In the sweatshops.
In the sweatshops.
Right, right. Oh, amazing. Oh, I love this. I hope you guys just like kick butt with it. It sounds awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah,
amazing.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, is it what length is it? Is it something that could end up on streaming or AVOD type thing?
This film is 12 minutes.
Okay, so it could end up on AVOD or Tubi or something like that.
Yeah. And Tombstone.
I'd love to see it. So.
Thank you. Tombstone Pillow is on Amazon Prime right now, and we're just about to do a whole big release of our recent our past films and our recent films that we just told you about. Text Me, Time is Eternal, which is a woman empowerment film as well about Cleopatra and Mary Wollstonecraft.
Are you doing a collection, like a collection you're releasing?
Well, we're just going through this wonderful platform, to release, to a bunch of different platforms. So,
nice.
Yeah, that's what we're doing. So, yeah, I think it's just really about, we've always been about where does storytelling meet marketing and promotion, because you have to get your work out there in the world.
Yes, this is so true. What kind of advice would you give, like filmmakers entering, no matter what they're doing, writing, acting, directing? What would you share in order to empower them?
Yeah, I would say I would agree with Tim Burton that you have to make a short film to start, and you have to do one that is just uniquely you, your vision, a story that you know best, that others, you're like the only one who can tell that story in that way. And it shows like a part of your experience as a human being that is incredibly original. Right. I think that's what I would say. And then I would say that you have to take on the understanding that it is an industry, and that doesn't mean that, it means that you have to gain a lot of skills in legal, business, marketing, promotion, and public relations to be able to, I feel like that's why we've had success, is that we've really had so much fun with the promotion and marketing, almost as much fun as maybe just as much as making the projects.
Yeah. How about you, Bayou? What advice would you share?
Yeah. Did you say sales?
No.
I think sales is huge. Like,
sales is a big one.
you have to be able to sell your dreams. Like, you have to sell your dreams, and a lot of artists are like, I don't want to brag, or I don't want to be the cheesy door-to-door salesman. I'm like, you're not. You're actually selling it. That's right. So that, number one, be a salesperson, and two, never ever give up. Like that, I cannot say that enough. And no matter who tells you that you're crazy, that you should have the backup plan or whatever, your day job. I hate that word, by the way.
Yes. Yeah. And sometimes we don't have, our families aren't on board. They're like, what crazy thing are you doing now?
Exactly. You never know.
It's true, though. So, okay. So, where can people learn more about you two?
Yeah, they can go to Instagram and Dream Team Directors, or dreamteamdirectors.com is our website, our official website. And we're always posting on Instagram, Facebook as well, Dream Team Directors, and
Twitter. We need to get back on Twitter, so we'll be doing that in the new year.
Eventually, yes. Oh my God, it came so fast. Yes.
Dream Team Film on Twitter, right?
Dream Team Film on Twitter, and Dream Team Directors on TikTok.
On TikTok. Oh, do you post little clips and stuff on TikTok?
We're 2024 is where we're gonna launch more.
We do. We also do a tip. We have a tip series. We have all kinds of things. It definitely will help any aspiring filmmaker and at any point in their career. And we also have a filmmaker course.
Yeah, we did an art of the film business. We talk about marketing, promotion, like making deals, film festivals. And we did it with a school that we mentor for, which is the Film Connection, the radio recording film connection. So we did a course together.
That.
Yeah, so it basically shows how to make a profitable career in filmmaking. Okay.
Oh, that's good. I probably need to take that. So that family that doesn't, maybe. That's amazing. So, well, you guys have been absolutely fantastic to talk to. I've had so much fun. I feel like we could probably go on for hours.
We had fun too.
And I hope you come back like after Connection's released or when you're doing your next project, because I would love to talk to you guys again when I'm on time, right?
Yeah.
I love that.
Yes, thank you. Okay, well then if you guys are ready, I'm going to do the 5 for 5. And
Yay.
You can do ladies first and then hubbies.
Okay.
Beautiful.
Okay. All right. So the first question, what is your favorite food?
Right now, it's samosas from Indian food.
Oh my God, yes, we love that. Yes. We love Indian food in my house too. Okay, what's your favorite food?
I would say samosas.
Oh, both of you? You really are one. You're a unit. I love that. Okay, number 2. What is something that inspires you or motivates you in life?
I'd say just seeing other women, be very powerful. Like, for example, Elena Cardone, her husband's like a famous
sales trainer,
but she's also now a very powerful mom. And she also is fighting for women's rights and children. And so she's not even in the industry, but she's an incredible, powerful powerhouse. And that always inspires me to see other women being that.
I love that. That's awesome. Okay, Daniel, what's yours?
What inspires me?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm honestly today I'm inspired by the beauty of our earth and also the people who wake up every day with a dream and execute on it.
That's a good one. Okay. You both have really good ones. I love that. You have little kids, right?
We have an 8-year-old, and he's like multiple kids, but yeah, we have one.
You have one. Oh, he's very busy. Yes. Okay. Well, I don't usually ask this question unless someone has kids, because it's a funny question. I still relate to it, and mine are grown up. But all right, number 3. If you had to hide in your house to get some alone time, where would you go? It's a weird question.
Love it.
Well, right now, where we are, there's a cabana. So I guess the cabana would be a good place to hide. You wouldn't want to stay.
They'll follow you anywhere. They really will.
That's funny.
Yeah, I don't know. If I could go in the attic, people are like, I can't leave. I'm like, no.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
Would you both go to the same spot?
I actually, right now, we just bought a home actually, and we are kind of like breaking it down to build it back up, renovating. And so we're staying at my mom's, and she's a designer, and the bathroom that she created is a work of art. It has all this really, really individual colored tile work.
Oh,
and
neat.
Outside there's bamboo trees. And I feel so peaceful when I'm in that room.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think I've, sometimes it's really helped me to form some ideas. So I like to go in there and hide.
That actually sounds like, a nice place to chill. I love that. That's fun. Okay. All right. Number 4, what is your favorite song to sing at the top of your lungs when you're in the car?
Well, right now, I have to say I'm singing it with my son, and he's becoming quite the little singer, and he plays the ukulele. So I'm really proud of him. We're into the 80s song called "Sweet Dreams Are Made of These."
You're in
it.
I love it. That's awesome. I used to sing that too. I love Annie Lennox. So. Oh, so cool. The Broken Glass is one of my favorites. I don't know what it's called, right? But Walking on Broken Glass. Okay, what's yours, Daniel?
Oh, God, I would say anything by Led Zeppelin would be perfect. That would be,
a good car song.
Friends of theirs, yeah. And maybe Wish You Were Here, Pink Floyd.
Oh, okay, good. Very, very good. All right. This last question, it's really hard, but I bet you two both have an answer though. What is your favorite movie?
That is hard.
I know, I love them all. I never have one. So
can I just say that like right now, currently, I'm just gonna, can I just say like currently, because I have like 10 favorite ones, but like the current one that I just saw in the movie theaters, funny enough, because it stems from my actual favorite movie. So it's a series now and I'm impressed. So it's Willy Wonka's Chocolate Factory. So Willy Wonka, it was so good. It's because I like the first one from the 70s and I'm a huge fan. And then the second one,
right?
Right. And then the second one was
Johnny Depp.
It was that Johnny Depp and Tim Burton. I'm a huge fan of both of them, but they didn't quite do it for me. It seemed a little too dark.
I was afraid to see this one right now because I didn't want to ruin. When I saw the Johnny Depp one, while it was great, it took away that childhood.
Yes.
It just kind of destroyed my view of, I don't know. My opinion's probably too strong, but I loved Gene Wilder's version. It was sweet, innocent, and the kid. Yes. But then I saw the other, and it had that darkness. And Tim Burton is so brilliant, but I was like, I can't go see this one. But I've heard from a couple people that it's really worth going to see. It's more like his youth or something, like who he is.
Like it's so agreed on all. And by the way, I'm a huge Tim Burton fan. I'm a huge Johnny Depp fan. Too. But one of my favorite movies is Beetlejuice, funny enough. So I have to say it, but keep it there. But like then the recent one is like so good because if you're an entrepreneur, you should go see it because it's when he's just trying to start out and all the like oppression he gets from the other chocolate makers that are big at that time. But he's so magical, and it's such a like heartwarming film, and I recommend it highly for today. And that's my most favorite.
Okay, yes. You convinced me because we were going to see it over Christmas, and I'm like, I just don't think I can have another childhood, dream dashed. It's like if you remade The Sound of Music or something.
Right.
Oh my God!
It's a previous story, so you don't have to worry about that. I felt the same way.
Oh, good. Okay, I feel better. Yeah. All right. What is yours, Daniel?
Well, I'm inspired by Bayou because she's talking about where she's at right now. And for some reason, I have been a long-term fan of Danny Boyle. I remember I saw him in New York City on the red, appearing for A Life Less Ordinary. And I'm like, I just love this guy. I just love his approach to movie making and the adventure of making a movie. And he's always innovating and doing different kinds of stories. So his movie yesterday about the Beatles, I just really thought that was a unique vision, and I really, really enjoyed it. So I would say right now, that's where I'm at with, if you had to ask me about one film, like, I really thought that was a great film.
Yes. Yeah, it was. Those were really good too. You guys are amazing. I have loved talking to you. Do come back anytime. And I really hope you have great success with Connection. It sounds like a powerful film.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yeah, we're just blessed because the environment is our passion in terms of the change we want to make. We're making change in many different areas, but we're sort of like continuing on. We're working with Michelle Pfeiffer was about the environment. Working with Mark Ruffalo was about the environment. This is a film that, sort of like our unique vision about the environment and the future of human beings.
You're waking us up while you're telling us a story at the same time, and we might not even realize it, which means it'll stick, right?
Yeah, because we have young people. We test screened it with people, our target audience, which is like, a younger demographic like Gen Z, and they're like, oh my God, I'm not going to look at buying jeans the same ever again because, jeans use huge amounts of water to be
I didn't know that. Oh, wow.
Yeah. And they're like, oh my God, I'm not going to use single-use plastics anymore. They're just like one for one. Everyone who watches this film, they're like, my life has been changed in some kind of way.
Oh, wow. Yeah. That's amazing. That is so amazing. So you guys rock. I've had a great time talking to you, and have a great 2024.
Oh, you're brilliant. Thank you, Renelle.
Thank you. Take care. We'll talk to you soon.
Fantastic.
Sounds good.
Bye.
Movie Making with Renelle Golden is brought to you by Samira Entertainment, supporting indie films and the filmmakers who create them. Stop by their website to learn more, www.samiraentertainment.com. That's www.samiraentertainment.com. entertainment.com. You've been listening to Movie Making with Renelle Golden. Be sure to come back for our next episode where we bring you the people who make movies you love. Got a topic about filmmaking you want to hear on our podcast? Send us an email at moviemakingpodcast@gmail.com. Thanks for listening.